I'm Andrew Alers here with ICTV Sports, joined by Steve Stern. Steve, thank you for interviewing with me. Is there anything that this documentary, NHL 100 years, everybody celebrating the anniversary, is there anything that this documentary taught you that you didn't know previously?
There were a lot of things, actually, especially some of the early stuff, some of the early history of the league that I didn't really know much about, and it was very enlightening to sort of find out some of the things about the teams, and like I think most people think that the league began with the original 6 teams. That's when people talk about the original 6. That's what they talk about. But the league actually had a 25-year history before that, prior to that. And I think that's what's very interesting in a lot of the stuff that we were able to sort of uncover and talk about in the film.
Were there any difficulties while you were filming this film? Any troubles you had to go through?
No, not really. I think this is typical of these sort of historical documentaries that we do. A lot of it is about what kind of footage you can find, what kind of images you can find, because we are a visual medium. So, but I don't think here we had much of a problem. The league is very well documented, even from the early years. So it's not a difficult thing to do, whether it's video or photos or film.
How is hockey different from any other sport that documentaries are made from?
I don't think it's that much different at all. I think if we did this and we have done this for many other things, many other sports, we rarely go back 100 years. Most of the time it's something we consider to be historical is the last 40, 50 years. So 100 is a long time, and it's a little challenging when you go back to the very beginning because there isn't very much moving image, which we like to use in our films.
There's talk about players of color joining the NHL, more so. PK Subban, you have Joel Ward for San Jose Sharks. Do you think that in the next couple of years more players of color will join and play in the NHL?
I would think so. I mean, there seems to be no reason not to. PK is one of the best players in the league and also one of the most fun players in the league. We've done the last 2 years, I've done shows with PK, Road to the Winter Classic when he was on Montreal, and then last year in the playoffs we did a series when he was on Nashville, and he really is he's a great guy, a fun guy, and a tremendous player, and a great example, and I can't see why he wouldn't continue.
Of course, hockey is the #1 sport in Canada. Do you think that in the U.S. that hockey can gain popularity and grow as soccer has done in the U.S. in the next couple of years?
Sure, I would think so. Again, there's no reason not to. We live in an age now where everything is sort of out there for people to consume, and people like it, and why not? I mean, you see the way the league has expanded. One of the things you'll see in the 4th episode is just how the league was very provincial when it first started. I mean, you think about this league had 6 teams up until 1967. That's almost unheard of. 6 teams, that's it. And New York, Boston, Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, Detroit, that's it. And since then it's grown to 31, 32, whatever it is now. Places like Phoenix, Las Vegas, Southern Florida, so Dallas, all over the place. It'll continue to grow.
What are your thoughts on the Vegas Golden Knights taking the league by storm this year?
Yeah, pretty good, huh? I mean, I was just talking to John about that. They're a pretty remarkable story when you think about it. A bunch of cast-off that are doing exceptionally well, and for their sake, hopefully they continue. It's kind of no expansion team's ever done this well, so yeah. See what happens.
I look forward to watching the documentary.
Thanks.
Thank you, Steve, for this interview. I'm Andrew Alers for ICTV Sports.